You want to make sure that you're doing what's best for you, like no one else, because who's going to be going through it? You are. They're not. And that's like real.
So stop thinking about it.
Can you play
Can
that
we
again?
just start it off? Start it off. Start it off. Start it off. Can we just
Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Destiny Arianna, and today I'm back with another video. And today I'll be giving you guys advice for applying to college. But anyway, if you're a high schooler and you are applying to school, this video is for you. And if you want to know what I did when I applied to Bowdoin, when I applied to all the other schools I applied to, stay tuned and keep watching. But before we get into the video, make sure to click the subscribe button and click the bell notification so you can get notified whenever I post a video. So if you guys have been watching me for a while, you already know how these videos go. I make a list of things and I just reference them. So we're gonna go right in to the video. The first thing I did when applying to school was I created a list. So I recommend writing down at least 5 things that you want out of a college or university when applying. This can be location wise, you know, whether you want a school that's in an urban city or somewhere that's really rural in like the middle of nowhere. If you want a liberal arts school, a STEM school, big school, small school, you know, you just want to make a list of what you want out of a school, because that's going to be key for creating your college list, and we're basically going to get into that later. So after you create your list of at least 5 things that you want out of school, this is when you create your college list. So I personally did not apply to more than 25 schools. You should know yourself and know what you feel comfortable applying to. But me, I just didn't apply to any more than 25. So yeah, you want to make your college list based off of those things that you made in the previous list. So if you say, hey, I'm really interested in liberal arts schools on the East Coast, which is what I did, you know, you want to start doing that research on schools that are on the East Coast that are liberal arts schools. What I basically did was I created a pro and con list for each school. So let's say I have 25 schools on my college list. For each school, I know this seems like a lot, but y'all, where you're gonna spend the next 4 years of your college career is such a big deal, because it's really like your mental, academic, physical, and emotional health on the line. So you really just want to make sure that you're picking the best fit school for you. But you go through each college on the list and you make a list of pros and cons. It doesn't have to be like 10 things on each list, but just things about each school that you like, things that you love, things that you don't like, things that you hate, just so you can sort of know for each school, this is, you know, what I really enjoyed. This is something I literally did not like. And that sort of helps you come up with rankings for schools that you really like a lot, schools that are low on your list, things like that. I think that is super helpful, and it really helps you in terms of figuring out what your best fit school is. Then from that list, this is just an extension, but making sure that you highlight which schools are reaches and which schools are safety schools. So if you don't know what a safety school is and what a reach school is, basically a safety school is a college or university that you definitely know that you're going to get into. So yeah, those are the schools that the GPA requirements may be, you know, below your overall GPA, or the acceptance rate is super high, or like around like that 60%, 70% acceptance rate. You know, those are your safety schools, the schools that you know that you're definitely going to get into. The reach schools, on the other hand, are the schools that it is literally a reach for you to get into them. So those are the schools that you're sort of casting out your net and seeing if you get them or if you don't. But you sort of go in knowing that there's a possibility that you may not get in, but you're still openly taking that chance. Another tip that I have is definitely not being afraid to ask for advice. When you're applying to college, y'all, especially me, I'm a first generation student. Like, my parents didn't go to college. So I had a lot of questions. I had questions about FAFSA, questions about financial aid. Like, I didn't know how the college process worked. Like, I literally didn't know anything. So going in, I just had a lot of questions. Don't be afraid to ask them. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, asking those people that come to your schools that are from like representatives from the schools, asking them all the questions you can, because that's literally their job, is to go into your school, answer your questions, and try to like sell the school to you. But you want to make sure you're taking advantage of those opportunities to do so. Asking your college counselors for help, asking alumni from your high school for help. Like literally, do not be afraid to ask questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question, y'all. Like, I'm serious, because you may think that somebody like doesn't know the answer, or like you just should know the answer, but y'all, like, it's better that you get clarity. It's better that somebody's helping you out. So just don't hesitate to ask for it, you know? So I kind of said this in a previous tip, but definitely like visiting the campus. You want to make sure that, like, if I guess the school is close to where you live, you're signing up or trying to do like campus tours or campus visits. Like, you really need to make sure that you're putting yourself on campus. Like, I do not recommend applying to a school that you have not seen in person. Like, I cannot imagine going to a college that I just never went to before. Like, for me, that's just not, like, I can't. Like, you know, I had to go to Bowdoin before I, you know, accepted it, because I was like, okay, this school sounds nice, but I need to be in this space to understand if this space is for me and if it's meant for me to be here, you know? Like, yo, you really have to make sure that whatever school you pick is what you feel like is the best fit for yourself. You know, I know that there's a lot of family pressure. There's a lot of pressure of friends, relationships, but y'all, this is your journey, your college journey. You want to make sure that you're doing what's best for you. Like, no one else, because who's going to be going through it? You are. They're not. And that's like real. Like, I'm not even trying to be like, you know, nobody cares about them. But like, you're the one that's going to be, you know, going to class, dealing with the stress, dealing with everything that comes along with college. So you want to make sure that you're making the best decisions for yourself. Okay, so now we're reaching sort of the second half of the video, which I want to call Supplement 101, because supplements in themselves are a completely different ball game with the college application process. When writing your personal statement, you want to make sure that you're being authentic. You know, you want to make sure that you're being yourself. You want to make sure that your voice is being heard. Literally, I can say so much about that, but I'll make this video like 30 minutes and I'm not trying to do that. If you guys want tips on writing your personal statement, let me know in the comments below and I'll definitely make a video addressing that. Supplement wise, what I did when tackling my supplements is I created an entire Google document that I basically just copy and pasted all of the schools that I was applying to. And under each school, I listed out all of the supplements that I had. The reason why I did this is because I wanted to make sure that I had all my supplements in one place, because when you're applying to school, you start to realize very quickly that they all ask basically the same questions. And the only thing that changes is the school that you're applying to. So in doing that, it just made my process of writing so much easier, when literally I just had to, you know, copy and paste the same answer, switch the school around, and, you know, like apply the answer to the university specifically. Save so much time, save so much energy, and I definitely recommend doing that. Adding on to that, when writing your supplements for each school, I definitely recommend having 2 tabs open. So one tab is basically going to be your document that you have your supplements in. And the second tab is going to be, guess what? The school that you're applying to. So what I did, like when applying to Bowdoin, is I had my document open, the Bowdoin webpage, and I would go to about Bowdoin. So like the mission statement of the school, the things that they wanted out of their students, what the school believed in, blah, blah, blah. And I basically, when answering the questions, tied in some of the school's morals, some of the school's missions, and put that into my writing and applied it to myself. Because if you're really passionate about going to a school, they want to make sure that you know about that school, that you've done your research, you know, that you really want to go there. Because they're not going to just accept someone that is like, you know, maybe I want to go to the school. Like, they want to make sure that if they're accepting you, you really want to go there. Because especially these like prestigious schools, they don't have spots to waste on people that don't want to be there, y'all. Like, I'm telling you. So you definitely want to make sure that you're selling that idea that you really want to be in that space. Next thing that I have is having editors to edit your paper. But you need to be aware of this, just because sometimes you have too many people editing your paper, you lose sight of your own voice. And I don't think that that's good at all. Like, you want to make sure that your story, your voice, your narrative is being told because it is your personal statement. Like, it's not your college counselor's personal statement, it's not your friend's personal statement, it's yours. So you want to make sure that you are shining through that. So I definitely recommend having one friend, at least like one college counselor or adult that you trust to like look over your personal statement, like give you advice on it, go over for any errors, whatever. You know the deal when it comes to like editing papers. But this basically goes into my last tip, is you want to make sure that you're proofreading everything. You do not want to turn in a college application with errors on it. Like, you just don't want to do it. Like, I'm telling you, you don't. So definitely, like, you know, Grammarly helps a ton. It helps with editing papers. You know, you have second eyes to look at it, third eyes, forward, you know, but don't go like over forward, just because, like I said before, that's too many people looking at your paper. But just make sure that you're proofreading, because we just want to make sure we're presenting our best selves. And sometimes grammatical errors stop, you know, those people in admissions for seeing our best selves. So I think that's it for the video. I hope that these tips helped you in applying to school. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below or DM me on Instagram. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.
Started off right, I can see it.